But when you're running the club, 45 chapters, that's a full-time
Yeah, there's
job.
something wrong with it.
That's a full-time
That's
job.
why he's a truck driver.
Salary?
He's out in
Salary?
traffic thinking about it.
I was salary?
I got 10 and I lost all my hair, you know.
Do you with all the legendary cars of the Imperials? Yeah, I know you're building another Monty Spanx,
Yeah.
76 Caprice.
Yeah.
But you have to represent yourself. You just do the best you can. How do you handle that?
Yeah, I do the best I can. Like I said, like the rest of the gentlemen said, that I might not have the best car, but they look at you as like, when are you coming out with a new car? You know what I mean? Yeah. When I first of all have the money,
Right.
and you have the idea, and you find a good painter, because again, anytime to build a car the way you want it built, it takes 2 to 3 years now. And so,
2 or 3.
well, yeah, well, okay,
That sounds nice. You know?
okay, let's go here.
Good luck with that.
What's happening, everybody? Joe Ray with the Wire Down Show. Before we get into the latest episode, we want to mention a proud sponsor, Coker Tires, the heart and soul of lowriding, the 52014, 52013 premium sport tires. Here we go. All right, everybody, before I introduce, I am more than honored. It's a heavy burden. I just mentioned it to these guys, got a little bit sentimental, but just to have a gathering like this with famous, iconic car clubs all in front of us, all together on one table, is historic. Yeah, it's a sit down. This is a legacy podcast. We have the individuals, the techniques, Majestics, Imperials, and the Groupe. To gather them here is something I'll never, ever be able to repay to them. If D-Mac is going to say, hey, Joe, I'm Majestics. You come to my house and we're going to do a podcast there. I mean, these guys have monster egos that they control. They are leaders. They are presidents. It's President's Day. They call the shots. For them to be here for me is more than an honor of all my life right now, I'd have to say. But I'm sentimental about it. Perhaps when this show is over, I'll take a walk in the parking lot by myself. But every individual that's in here, it means everything to me. But at the end of the day, what we're here is to discuss lowriding then, now, and the future. So here we go. Dwight, introduce yourself.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Big Dwight, president of the Individuals Car Club Los Angeles, the mother chapter.
When did you guys get going?
We got going 1976 as we started off. I came in here about somewhere 84, 85. I've been over a 40-plus year member.
What do you drive, President?
Right now, I'm building a 1989 Lincoln again, and I drive Pastor Fe 2 cars, the turquoise 73 and the pink Caprice 86.
I hope you know that. I know you're a big guy and all that, Dwight, but it ain't a G-body. You like to hop those diesel trucks, Lincolns. Jesus. Groucho, go ahead. Tell everybody who you are.
My name is Grouch. Been president for 13 years, Techniques Car Club Los Angeles Mother Chapter. We established in 72. Currently got a 2001 Lincoln Town Car Cartier Palm Beach edition. And that's us.
Cartier.
Yeah, Cartier.
Hey,
Top dog.
What the moon, we've got to have it.
Yes, sir.
You got electric
Gotta have
seats,
it.
huh?
Oh, yeah, got to have the luxury.
D-Mac, you don't have to say your name. Everybody knows you. Go ahead.
Well, for those that don't, I'm D-Mac from the Badass Majestic Car Club. I'm the national president of all Majestics. We started in 73. Still going strong, still doing what we have to do. Still trying to make everybody do what, keep up to the standards and do what most clubs try to do. Keep everybody together, keep everybody focused. And I drive a 62 convertible Impala.
Right now.
Right now, yeah.
Great.
Next.
Welcome, fellow presidents. Honor and a pleasure to be here to hear your stories. Thank you, Joe, for getting this together.
Yes, sir.
Eugene Spanks Hernandez, president of the Imperials Car Club. We've been around since 1965. We just celebrated our 60th anniversary about a year ago. We're starting our 61st year. I've had the honor to lead this club since 2017, but I got back in the club in 1975. Big Jesse says, you know what, this will be here when you finish college and you finish your career, come back. And guess what? 5 years before I retired, I got back into the club, and this is where I'm at. So thank you.
What do you drive?
Oh, 1976 Glass House.
Yes, sir.
For right now also.
First and foremost, Joe, I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here amongst all of you legends in the game, presidents representing different clubs. My name is Ray. I'm the president of the mother chapter, Groupe Car Club, East LA, and I also oversee all chapters. We have 12 chapters, including our most recent bicycle club chapter that our children are out there representing. And we've been around since 1971. This year, we are in fact celebrating 55 years of lowriding, and we've got some great things coming up this year. And I drive a 1967 Buick Riviera, and I'm also building a 1969 ragtop Impala.
So there you go, everybody. A sit down, a historic sit down. From kids, we were all kids at one time. We went through car club battles, whether it was competition at shows or on the streets to settle things. We've seen all of that. We've gone through all of that. And now we're up here at a round table telling what was, what is, and what will be, because we're all leaders here. We all have different qualities. And before we even get going, Dwight, you mentioned something very special. You have the Groupe Car Club and the Imperials. You're talking about, they're older than me. You have the Majestics in here just as well. The techniques are right there, and you know the individuals are right there. So when it comes to heritage, do the math.
Man, right now, all of us sitting in this room, we over 350 years strong, sitting right here. We're 50. What year?
54,
D-Mac?
50, 53, 54.
61.
55.
Y'all put that
Joe,
together.
50.
50.
Yeah.
And for everybody out there, these are legacy car clubs. The clique should be here, and a number of other car clubs. There's not that much room, but there'll be other episodes. And then there'll be an episode with all the bomb club presidents, all these viejitos, old memories. We'll take care of that too. But right now, this is the premiere right here. I've been talking about President's Day for a long time. I'm a president of a car club, and I know what it takes to be a leader and what the qualities are and how you have to represent yourself. So I've got maybe about 8 key questions, but at the end of the day, you guys don't have to answer all of them. You guys can answer what you want or talk about what you want. This is a formal gathering right here, but everybody's wearing colors. I'd like to know, and whoever wants to go first, we don't have to go in order. I would like to know how you guys earned your position as president. Who wants to go first?
Want me to go first?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So I got back in the club in 1975, and you probably heard this before. My mentor was Jesse Valadez. Living around the block from Jesse, learned a lot from him. I was one of the, I cleaned his car when it first came out. Used to scrub those white walls, got back into the club, and you know what? Got into the club. And so I used to look and listen to all the members that were in the club back then. And Jesse was a leader who was very quiet, but carried a very, very strong sense of leadership. And so I said, you know what? I could do that. So when I was in the club from 75 to 83, I was part of car committee, one of the leadership roles, and then I became treasurer. Then I left and I came back and I became vice president. And then I wanted to continue Jesse's legacy. And if I, like I said before, if I could only be half the man he was, and I learned a lot from him, I wanted to be president. And president to inspire all the members, president to model integrity, president to lead, president to make the tough decisions when you have to make them, president to empower all of our members, because everybody has great ideas, but nobody wants to do the work, right? all of our clubs, right? So again, empowering them and saying, you know what, it's a great idea. Why don't you take it over? We'll model for you what it looks like and what it sounds like. So that's how I became president, and I enjoy the position. And I'm just a representative of all my members. We have a New Mexico chapter, an El Paso chapter, and a Phoenix chapter. And again, it's having that, like I mentioned, you want the same hamburger. So we're corporate, right? You want the same hamburger in New Mexico, in El Paso, and what? In Phoenix. So that it's united and it's the same thing that we do here in LA. Same thing with your clubs if you have chapters, right?
Yep.
You want the same thing.
Yep.
So again, it's again, I lead with the flashlight, not a club. Flashlight leading the way for all our other members. And of course, I don't have all the answers. I have ego just like all of us. But guess what? It's being that good listener that I've learned to be. And yeah, I go home upset sometimes, but you know what? Tomorrow's another day. And as long as we keep flying this, but you have it on your back or your hats or your plaque, that's what counts. And something that you guys believe in.
Right. Same way I worked my way from car committee 26 years ago. After, I don't know, 13 years ago already, I took the position of mother chapter president. And same thing, man, just try to lead the club as well as we can, you know, and like you said, empower the guys and keep the structure going. It's hard because what they're doing in Texas, they're not doing in LA. What they're doing in North Carolina, they're not doing in LA. They can't do that. The weather, but we try to keep it as much as possible and let them also do what they do without micromanaging everybody, but they still got to follow the standard of the club that was set before us, you know? So that's my story right there.
I understand that right now. I'm the president. I'm like the newest president in our club right now. I'm one of the oldest members, but I'm the newest president. Like now, I've been there last 3 years, going on 4. But I played every role at the club you can ask for. Like you said, from the white wall cleaner to the charge up batteries to the wash a car, getting ready for the show. I wasn't scared to do nothing. You know what I mean? Because once I was growing up, Charles Clayton always sweated me about you're gonna have to put a color down and represent one thing. You cannot, you know what I'm saying, worship two. You can't worship the streets and the community and what all you do in a negative way. And when you bring that to the car club is on the positive side. That means you're getting rid of all what you've been through. And I was like, man, this was horrible to change that. You know what I mean? I walked it through and, you know, and I wanted the best out of our club. So it's like now we're 29 chapters, 24 states, and I oversee them as the mother chapter. I'm one of the decision makers, and it feels good because, like you said, I want all the members' ideas. I need everybody idea. All the ideas ain't gonna work, but in time it is. But I learned you have to build the next person behind you, and you never know who they're gonna be. It could be the newest member, can be the next one in strong position. So we just got to keep putting them together. And that's what it is of us being presidents, because that's a president.
Before we get to you, Ray, at the end of the day, I know when I first started, someone came up to me and go, "You have to be an asshole."
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, hey, I just got out of Catholic school. There's no way I'm going to be that person. What do you mean by that? And at the end of the day, and we know we're mature enough now, you have to be one to run a club. Sometimes, whether you like it or not, if you're too kind, they'll step all over you. And, you know, you got to call the shots, man. I know none of us here are dictators, but then again, maybe we all are. Ray?
Well, my leadership skills go back to back when I was younger in life. Not necessarily always a good leader, but always I felt that it's always been in me, and I fine tuned that when I served in the United States Army. I was a young infantry soldier, and that's really where I polished up my leadership skills. Fast forwarding post military, I went through a lot of struggles in life, dealing with addiction, homelessness, and just very dark roads that I had gone down. But through those dark moments, I was being forged in the fire and continuing to learn to be a good leader. And Groupe Car Club is just something I'd always wanted to be a part of. Growing up and seeing my club out there in the streets, and I began my journey here in the Phoenix chapter, and by the time I started fellowshipping and associating with them, I had already launched a veterans nonprofit on the community. I live a life in recovery, so I've dedicated my life to being a service to others and to the community. So I was already out there helping out the homeless, helping out veterans that were going through some of the struggles I had been through. So when I joined the club, we kind of incorporated what I was already doing to the Phoenix chapter. So I immediately, I came into a leadership role as a sergeant over there, and also joining Groupe was my connection back to my hometown out here in Los Angeles. So getting my life back together out there, learning how to live the club life, becoming that sergeant. I'm working on becoming the best version of myself when I transferred out here to come back home. Mother chapter welcomed me with open arms, and within a couple of years, I became the VP, and within the past couple of years, my chapter, our brothers that I love dearly, I'm the one they want leading the way right now. So that's what we've been doing. And again, as a leader, there's nothing I wouldn't do. There's nothing I tell a brother to do that I wouldn't do. I live my life in the trenches out there with them, man. I'll be the first one at the park securing the location for our picnic. I'm very grounded, and I stay humble about the role that I'm in. And I'm always looking out for what's in the best interest of all of my members.
Hey guys, just so you know, this is one badass tire. Coker Tire has been working for years to build a perfect 520 tire, and the evolution of this tire was led entirely by the end consumer, which is us. Suggestions from customers led to many changes throughout the years, and the most recent improvements include all new tooling and molds, meaning that the ultimate lowrider tire just got better. Crisp sidewall lettering and perfect white wall size and location are the cosmetic features, and you can expect excellent performance out of this tire due to its A-ply rating. The most significant feature of the new premium sport tire is the tread profile and defined shoulder, giving it the perfect look. This reimagined tire has the same great features you know and love, but with all new materials to ensure customer satisfaction. It has been years in the making, but believe us, it's worth a wait. You can order the new Premium Sport 52013 and 52014 now at cokertire.com. D-Mac, how did you earn your office?
Well, that's a great question, because for me, I got so many great individuals above me. We got Gangster from Compton. We got Bird from San Diego. We got one of your favorites. We got Chinaman.
Yeah.
We got Honcho. So for me, is getting into the position that I'm in, it all came, through them. Somebody not being able to finish what they started, or maybe we're going to go this direction. So it ended up falling in my lap. I was the vice president, under Chinaman, and then Chinaman, he stepped down for a minute, which he's back now, but he stepped down for a minute. Then I took his spot, and that's how I came into being the national president now. But anybody that knows, big car clubs, because we're big, we have 45 chapters, so it's a headache in itself. And I love all my brothers and sisters, but it's a headache. It's a headache itself. Just trying to keep up with everybody's day-to-day issues, or trying to be the best club that we could be.
Damn, D-Mac. I got voted in to my position. I'm not sure if everybody here, we went through the rounds car committee, spokesman and all that, but your peers, you have some great presidents and leaders that you just mentioned right now, from Gangster, Little John, Bird, everybody, man, Chinaman, and to allow all that power, you got to trust somebody. It's like the Lord of the Rings, the ring, the Precious, because people members that you know of, they're like brothers to you. They grab a hold of that ring, they run with it, and they make it about themselves. So, I mean, they have to trust you. Talk about voting you into position. Those 5, 6 votes for you, that's major. And then thousands of members that you got to go through. And I remember back in at the Lowrider shows, if there was any question or anything with all of you guys up there, and you would take up a Cashman field inside that hall, everybody went to you for everything. You were car committee spokesman, you were VP, you did it all. And that's how I got to know you. And you handled it all. I mean, you were out there, you had a resume like I don't know what.
I burned so many calories, and you know, at that show, you know, because we were putting out fires everywhere, you know. But that's what it's all about: taking care of your people. I mean, you know, listening to what they have to say.
But I believe, honestly, D-Mac, with you, you're somebody to approach. You get what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I know your club. I was born in your club, like literally in the Majestics.
Exactly.
I was everything around the Majestics. And to watch you, it's like, you know, a few people we know, nobody would go and talk to. You know, it'd be like, we cool, I'm gonna sit over there. But you was one of them guys that you could be like, okay, talk to me, learn about my club, learn what we do, and we can get it together. You know, and that's what made our club brother clubs. Because you and I know the history of our clubs. We was not the best of clubs with each other at one time. And it's like beautiful to know that. You know, for real, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the same with yours, you know, with Charlie and Kuda and everybody, you know, when we see each other, it's like we haven't seen each other in years.
Man.
And you know, you can't just talk for 5 minutes. It's a 45 minutes, hour conversation, because you know, we just catching up.
Yeah, because it's a lot of history.
Yes, sir.
Right? It's a lot of history.
We all run our car clubs military wise. We're all sergeant at arms. We're all car committee at the end of the day. We're all generals. That second question would be rules and standards handed down to you guys when they pass you guys the torch, if they did. New Testament, Old Testament, like the Bible, things have changed in low riding a lot. The more things change, the more they don't. I understand that. But at the same time, you have to reinvent the wheel with your clubs. Things are way different today. So you have to bend the rules. You have to get a little bit soft. You have to become wiser. How do you guys handle that today? Because we can't live on strict rules and from the past. It's different.
Well, I'll start this one off. With us, it's, you know, it's always the same as far as, you know, on the cars: clean paint, clean interior, chrome undercarriage. You know, we haven't wavered from that. You know, except if you're a 25-year member and over, then you don't have to have chrome undercarriage, but you still have to have clean paint, clean interior. You know, you have to be able to park next to the next man. You know, you got an original 59, 58, you got to go park, you know, I'm not saying that you can go park next to the south side or something, but you have to look and see what they have. You need to have the same thing. You need to look for the same qualities, you know, and that's what we instill in everybody. You know, we have other rules, you know, that, how should I say, something we have to get into. What I mean is, we got new members. The newer members, they don't want to do the chrome. They figure chrome costs too much, this and that. So we give them a grace period. You still got to get it. You know, we'll let you fly your plaque for a year. But after that year, you know, 366, if you haven't got it, then the plaque needs to come down until you get it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's just how it works. If the president of that chapter is doing his job, then that's what has to be done. And trust me, the guys that make it happen, if they know about somebody that didn't do it, they're letting you know. Hey, I did mine. Well, you know, what's up with him? So we get that. But for the most part, with us, you know, it's still the same rules.
Who's next?
Oh yeah, me. Our club is so like you said, it's different states and different states and countries now. And some of the states is not really doing chrome undercarriage because of the snow and what goes on with them. So we passed them up. Yeah, I thank you for that. We passed them up that we say y'all can powder coat. Y'all got to be clean. Y'all just can't run around here with no, paint under your car. You have to powder coat, clean it, make sure it's right. But majority of everybody in ours, we are chrome undercarriage, or at least one of your cars.
I'm good.
Because lately, it's crazy how, like you said, new society, the new culture of lowriding, everybody now got more than one car. Hey, we at the bar.
Good, thank you. Good.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we now, it's like everybody's building undercarriages or having multiple cars.
Right.
So you might have one of your cars chrome undercarriage fully done, and your other street car could be just regularly done, with powder coat undercarriage and just real clean. Because I watched y'all club, and I remember a lot of y'all cars wasn't no chrome undercarriage, but boy, when that motherfucking paint came out, god damn, I used to walk past club and I wouldn't even touch the car. I just go real soft by it and I just pull off because, at the times I seen it, y'all took over the paint world and it made you not look at chrome undercarriage, because y'all made them lay on the ground and everything else. And that's where a lot of cars is coming back to right now, is laying on the ground.
Mhm.
They're laying on the ground.
You know what it's like to chrome an undercarriage? It's like building another car.
It is.
And then before you even get it all put together, the chrome's already nickel plating. But what I've seen with the newer generation, and you guys can jump into that, you guys are out there on the goddamn streets, hopping, scraping with undercarriages in it. I just say, God, there's just no way.
Nope.
It takes like a whole weekend just to clean your car, and then let alone get underneath the thing. You guys are all over the streets every weekend, DMAC, hopping, scraping. Like, you know what it took to build an undercarriage? It takes a different type of individual,
Yeah.
individual to do an
Yeah.
undercarriage.
So what usually about them is they're trying to prove themselves. If you look at the ones that do it,
Yeah.
they're trying to, if I'm wrong or right, anybody, you know what I mean? They're trying to build their lane and build their name. So it's like, to catch up with Joe Ray, I have to do that. To catch up with D-Mac, I have to come out with a pretty designed Cadillac with all chrome, everything in traffic day to day. You know what I'm saying? I remember his steps day for day. I remember your steps. I watched your club really put it down. I really, really give your club, standards, because when y'all came about, as when I recognized y'all, seemed like y'all was coming back to the streets. You know what I'm saying? Y'all came to the streets and started like terrorizing for a minute, and it's crazy to watch that because it's a beautiful situation to watch it, turn around to that thing. Just like when I come to y'all shows, bro, I've seen y'all 50 cars laid out one year, 50, 60 cars. Do you know how hard it is to get that many people together?
Yeah, I think, first of all, it's good to hear the diversity from each club. I think that's important because we take that back with us, right? Our club has a set of written rules that were adopted in 1965, have been revised over the generations. The last revision happened right when I became president. Taking a look at, because again, new technology, new wheels, engraving, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But let's keep it simple. Nice paint job. 520s, 13 or 14s, wire wheels, and let the car committee decide if that car's ready for the club to fly that plaque, right? So we have the same standards in El Paso with Benny, same standards in Phoenix with Jesse, same standards in New Mexico with Jose. And again, it's sometimes you have to bring out those rules to bring the order back to where it needs to be at, because it's written, like you said, the Old Testament. It's like the Bible, right? So it's just like here, this is what it's saying, and you could interpret it, and you could bend the rules, but don't break them. That's what I've always been taught. Bend the rules as much as you can, but don't break them, because once you break them, then that's you set precedent, right? Well, you let Joe do it. Well, I want to come in like Joe now, but no, you can't now. And then that's when it challenges your leadership, right? So again, not to set precedent and make rules as president, because then if they're not written down, and I'm just talking about our clubs, then they'll come back and challenge you. Well, you let him with hubcaps, but you're not letting him with hubcaps. And so no. Keep it that style. So that's the way we operate. And again, like you said, bend the rules once in a while. I mean, things are harder to put together now. Back in the days, you could buy all kinds of parts everywhere, right? Yep. But now things are what? Now we have to remake a part, a chrome strip. We have to redo this. And so again, we have deadlines for those cars that are in the shop that have to get painted, but it's car committee's responsibility to go progress monitor and say, you got a deadline in 6 months. But during those 6 months to go progress monitor and take a look at your car in the shop. And so then give a progress report back to all the members when we have a meeting. So everybody knows that Spank's car's in the shop, but this is where Spank's car's at. So it's not a secret. So this way that communication is so important.
Right.
You adapt, right?
And for us, as a traditional club, we do have these rules and regulations that were instilled upon us by my elders, back in 1971. And our club rules are similar, Spanx, as far as, clean car, wheels, looking good, nice, clean group ride. And over the years, it's been like that, and obviously in different chapters, we do have, membership that, sets the bar higher than others. We've got our show cars, we've got our cruisers, our street cars, but at the end of the day, they all have to meet that criteria, that standard of being a clean car, clean paint, and with some wheels, but catching up more to today's time, 2026, 55 years later, we have not just with the vehicles, but now with membership. Before it was men and your son will get grandfathered into the club. We've kind of loosened that up a little bit now, and we've actually, daughters can get grandfathered in, and our wives can also wear colors and fly a pack in their car as well. So this is something we have been bringing up within the past few years, trying to change a little, but not trying to veer too far off from what it is. And even to include our children now with the bicycle club chapter, they've got their small little plaques, and the most recent, which happened this year at our all chapter meeting, was I had the majority of our presidents actually voted for us to fly a group topper on our motorcycles. Now, so that's something that hasn't happened, that we've been trying to get going for many years. And these are just some of the smaller changes. Nowadays you see these V-Class out there at the shows looking good, representing. So, obviously you've got to go through your car committee to make sure your vehicle's plaquable, but also to fly that topper on your motorcycle. It's not a substitute for a plaque vehicle. You have to be an active member, paying dues with the plaque vehicle, and just kind of be able to fly that topper on your bike on the side. So there are some of the changes that we've made throughout the years. Not much though. We can't ruffle too many feathers. So we're trying to stick to the script, but at the same time try to modernize things just a little bit.
How did that feel?
Feels good, man. I'm an avid motorcycle rider. They say 4 wheels move the body, 2 wheels move the soul, man. So once I saw the vote lean towards the toppers, I was the first one to put one on my bike, man, and feel like Superman riding out there.
Yeah, we've been having that situation problem.
Grouch,
Yes, sir.
how do the techniques adapt? How do you
I
adapt?
mean, we try not to change the rules too much, because we don't want a booklet of rules and regulations. And some of the rules from the 70s don't apply today. Some of the things they were doing then, they're not doing now.
Right.
So I always advise anybody that's getting a car in our club, get with the car committee. Ask them. They'll guide you. If you're not sure, they'll guide you. You can pretty much look at all the cars and you'll see where we're at.
Right.
We don't require too much. We are street clubs. We do the shows, but we're a street club too, so we don't require 520s. You could do radials because we drive a lot. You don't have to do the chrome undercarriage, because I ain't getting under there and cleaning that car no more. I'm too old for that. So
But don't you look over the shoulders on car committee and make sure that they
definitely,
know what's up here?
Definitely.
what you
I
see.
was a car committee for 15 years myself. So,
Yeah.
you know, but the car committees I have now, I know they're more than capable of doing their job. You know, I have a trust in them. I know, I see their cars and they know what they're doing.
Okay.
You know, so it's no
Makes
need
everybody's
it
in
makes
sync.
it
huh?
easier for
That's
me,
good.
you know. And if they have any questions, then they'll ask me. You know, hey, what do you think? But yeah, we don't have too many rules. You got to have a clean car, clean paint, clean interior, and of course clean wheels, hydraulics. You know, has to be lifted, and that's about it. We don't require you have to have this paint or that paint or that. It just to be clean on the street and able to be clean in a show if you're showing. And yeah, we got the full jack stand, chrome undercarriage, show everything, you know, and then we have the street car. But they're both just as clean. So yeah, we don't like I said. We only thing we really changed was the fines because those you know $5 fines they don't care about that.
Yeah.
You know,
They're
so
500 now, aren't they?
oh, no, not that high, but you know
they'll get there soon.
we did add them. And, you know, we did increase that, but other than that, we haven't changed much. We haven't changed much. The guys know when they come. They've seen the club out for a long time. They've seen and they know. They just look at the lineup and say, okay, my car need to be able to fit in right here, and that's basically how we do it.
Who are you guys in front of your club? Because I've always wanted to be the guy sitting down, hanging out with everybody, talking old stories, couple beers, the right music, clowning people, copying on them, because that's why I got into the club. And being a leader, sometimes you miss all the fun about being in a car club. But I'm sure that all of you guys, through your experiences here, have been there if you have. But it's like running a company. If you're the boss, you're in the office. You separate from the employees, they're in the warehouse. Do you guys get involved with your members, sit down there, have a good time? You expose yourself over a couple beers. You lose respect from your membership because your weaknesses are out there. And then the wrong members are watching that. How do you guys handle that? Anybody here?
You got to be the asshole, like you said.
Do you get involved with a club and you be yourself, let down your guard,
One
let
hundred
your hair hang?
percent.
Yeah.
I'm that guy that's bagging on him,
Yeah,
clowning
yeah.
on him, clowning on that, and getting clowned on too. But at the end of the day, business is business. You're my friend,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, I'm still the president. The club still has its rules, and I gotta follow the rules. So do you.
I like that.
You know,
I like that.
just
And as far as the way I operate is I don't drink, so I am in recovery. My focus is on brotherhood. It's something that I experienced as a young soldier again, and brotherhood's a beautiful thing when you're firing on all cylinders. And I'll stay in the trenches. I'll like again being the first one there. Any brother can call me at any time of day. I'll answer my phone. So again, I see myself as a spoke in the will. But when it's time to be that leader, I've also learned how to set healthy boundaries in my life. And if I have to make an executive decision, I'll go ahead and do so. But for the most part, I utilize the chain of command method. All of our chapters have their own chain of command, their own structure, and I allow the presidents of their own chapter to go ahead and take charge and lead. And if it's something where I have to get involved, then I'll go ahead and do so at that time. For the most part, I make myself be a spoke in the will and open that open door policy for any of my brothers to reach out any time of day.
Yeah, well, I understand that. I'm in the same trenches with you right there. I be tripping sometimes, man. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? Because I get out there, and if I see everybody's ready to go, but nobody's not ready to jump, because all of us have a club member that they'll pull their car there, but they're not cleaning their car. They're not moving because they're trying to get their family together, get their structure together. Man, I get up under that car. I get to clean their wheels because, like I explained to everybody, that car represent our club. So if you got one car that's not in line with the club, the whole club look bad. Because everybody will come in and they'll pick that one car and be like, you didn't get that one ready. So to me personally, I get into all of it. But I, like you said, I get into being an asshole, boy. Whoo,
But
Jesus
you're a
Christ.
big guy. It comes easy for you.
Yeah, but you know what's
You
crazy?
change your mind real quick.
Yeah. It's like boom, I'm a Leo.
Yeah.
Give him another beer.
Yeah.
Ready.
You know, but that's really what it is. But at the end of the day, it's about leadership, and to make sure, like for us to have multiple chapters, it's like and to oversee them chapters. Sometimes you got to be an asshole through all of them, and it's crazy to go through that because it's like, come on, bro. You know what you're doing right and wrong. Just do the right thing and let's go. Read the rule book, overlook it, talk about it. If you don't like it, let's see what we can change down the line or
It's not
bend that
necessarily
rule.
being the asshole on purpose,
No.
but if you're the one that points out that what's right and wrong, then you're automatically the asshole because you told me something.
You can't yell at these guys because they're supervisors, the owners of their own company. It's
We're all men
who
at
are
the end of the
you?
day.
Yeah, but we
Women
are
too.
all adults.
Yeah.
So how do you do it?
Whew.
For me, I guess I'm probably a different breed. I'm I'm cool with everybody, man. I talk to all my members, and there's even members that I probably don't like, but they wouldn't know it because I treat everybody the same. You know, I give encouragement. I try to I just try to do the best that I could do as far as with everybody. Yeah, I'll go and have a beer with you. Yeah, some guys they want to talk your ear off. They got an issue with this person or with the president or whatever, and I listen to them and I give them I try to give them the best advice that I can. You know, I'm not. I'm never going to be the one that's going to be yelling at somebody across the parking lot. You need to be doing this, or you need to be doing that. I go straight to their president. Hey, you need to handle this person over here, or whatever. You know, I would like to say that I'm a loved guy, you know, in my club. You know, I try to do what's best.
You sure it ain't that bobtail in traffic that gave you all the patience in the world to handle people like that?
Hey, if you see me in traffic, brother.
Yeah, I've got through my cussing days. It's like,
nah, that will make it even worse. But my father he was a Marine.
oh, man,
So
man.
when when he worked swing shift. When he got home and the trash wasn't dumped, he woke you up. Hey, go handle it. Be dark as hell in the backyard, dogs barking and everything else. So you only let that happen a couple of times because you wasn't trying. You wasn't trying to do that. You wasn't trying to get on his bad side. So for me, I just try to be patient. And just listen to everybody. I think I'm the longest running national president, now. So I mean, I'm maybe I'm doing something right. I don't know, but I'm sure that there's other people that probably think that they could do a better job. I always tell them, hey,
Get in, the water's warm, right?
yeah,
That's right.
pretty much.
So you're a smooth operator? You're a smooth operator, bro. I give you that.
Yep. For me, it's about when we're at a party or something. I usually jump groups because in all of our clubs, there's people are hanging out together and who they feel most comfortable with.
Different cliques.
So yeah, I don't want to call them cliques because I think that it's just like maybe I'll hang around with you tonight because we're doing a wedding next week, or I'll hang around with you the following week. But I tend to jump around. I always try to model what leadership looks like for my members because I think model and inspire them. And at times try to be that good listener when somebody comes up to you with the problem. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? And I just listen and listen because sometimes they have good ideas and sometimes they just want you to listen to them, right?
That's true.
And so it's used and again just kind of reminding them and bringing back what's the shared vision of a club. Shared vision of a club is to have fun.
Yep.
Shared vision of the club is to be familia, family, right?
Mhm.
Shared vision of the club is for our significant others to get along with each other, to have our kids together, to feel comfortable where everybody feels safe, right? Are there those situations once in a while where it kind of gets a little bit rough? Yeah. But then that's where you have to use your club and hey, you know what? No, not here. Right? So it's again, it's that shared vision kind of bringing them back to say, hey, this is what we're here for, man. Because we all have egos. We all have, me included. And sometimes, you might have the best idea as president and they get shot down. So you have your tail between the legs for a minute, but then you got to bounce back up because again, that shows weakness.
Yep.
And something that you push for and you come up on the losing end, it's like, wow. But then when you come up on the winning end, it's like, whoa, shoulders, right? Everything's good. So yeah, it depends. But yeah, I tend to jump around, tend to talk to all the groups in a party or at a meeting. Um, very strict with when we have our meetings, no beer, no alcohol. It's meeting time. Like you said, take care of business. And after we take care of business, boom, let's do whatever we want. So again, it's because again, we're brothers. We're all brothers within our clubs.
Yep.
And so we all lead differently, but again, at the end of the day, it's always about somebody flying a flag or colors, right? That's what it's all about.
All right, guys. Old school versus new school. So we have a generation gap. With all car clubs have that. You'll have an old member come up to you and tell you, you know what? Tell the younger members, if not for us, you guys wouldn't be here. And the new members, they back that up and say, if not for us, you guys wouldn't be here. So how do you bridge that gap? How do you handle that? Especially if you're one of those old members, but then again, since you're active, you are like a new member. So how do you meld that together? How do you put the glue? What's the recipe? Who wants to go?
It's difficult, man.
No, it's different.
I consider myself new school because I started in 2000. So the guys from the 70s were I was a little kid back then, So it's hard when they come and try to tell you what's going on, what you're doing now when they haven't been around in 35 years. It's not the same no more. It's something different now. So it's kind of like you just gotta work with them, and if they're still out there doing their thing, then cool. But they gotta adapt with the times because the times have changed. So it's a hard balance. It's a hard balance, and you get a lot of backlash and hate for trying to evolve and try to keep up, and advance because they're stuck on 1970, the 70s, and it's not the 70s no more. It's rough. I get the most from the older generation than the newer generation because the newer generation is more like they're active now. The older generation is like, oh no, we didn't do that back then. Well, it's not back then no more.
It's got to be hard for you guys because I'm going to be old school and I'm going to be new school, and there's no gray area. There's no middle ground.
Nope.
There's only one side, and how do you do it? One meeting you're on this side, the next meeting you're over there, DMAC. You have that major problem too.
Yes, I do. I always compare it to remember the old Huggy Bear days with the goldfish and the platforms. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
We gotta
There's
get
nothing wrong with that.
we got to get away from that.
You can't come out of jail with them damn goldfishes on your shoes.
No, no, because now everybody wants to do something different. Now you got the hoppers. We have a hopper chapter, and they're out there killing everybody. A lot of the older members, I don't want to see these guys hop. Yeah. They support you. You got to support them.
Yeah.
You got to be there just like they got to be there for you. You know what I mean? But and the trash talking.
Ooh.
The trash talking is something else, man. You know what I mean? You know as well as I. This man, that's how I learned how to hit a switch with him. He'd go up and down Crenshaw and wouldn't stop. You know, you and Switchman. Switchman made me burn up my batteries, burn up my solenoid so many times, you know. But just learning, how to hit a switch, you know. We don't have that anymore. It's just like some of the older guys, they just want to park and lay their car. I'm gonna get out, and then you got the new guys. They coming through the parking lot, three wheeling, doing doing everything else. And you got the older guys. Hey, what if they hit a car? I said, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
How about that?
We'll cross that bridge when we come to them. But to me, what does it say in that back window? Oh yeah. Nothing else to be said.
Yeah.
They making a name for themselves. There's nothing else to say.
We were once young too. I mean, yeah, what are you going to do about that?
You
You got to go with the times.
You don't teach them. I think
yeah, go ahead.
personally, you have to teach them, because what I explained to them lately is get your car ready to hit the switch, because you got to remember, a lay and play car from a street active car and a show car, them is all different cars. A street car, like you said earlier,
Different worlds, yeah.
you have to consistently do the maintenance. If you notice recently, it been more cars getting tore up than I ever seen by wrecks and everything, because of, excuse my French, the builders is not building street cars. They're building show cars. So they're not tightening up bolts, ball joints. It's all different now, because you got so many manufacturers and CNC workers now that's building stuff for abuse, because that's all you're really doing to your car. And it's like, you have to build a street car. Like our club is street show car. That's been our motto from day one. It's a show car, but it's a street car. So if you can't get out in your car and hit the switch and tie that thing up, because, if you can't go up and down the boulevard and that car active, you really can't be in our club, and it's that serious about it. So what you have to do is educate people how to do it. I have more people out my club that I teach how to hit the switch, or if I hear something, how they pass by and you hear that odd noise and you be like, man, you just locked your car up and it went boom. You need to go over there and check that ball joint right now, because you're going to be down the street in a minute. You're going to be boom.
Asking for a jack.
Stuck and ask for a jack or a tow truck, or you're going to be stuck. And I don't want to see nobody stuck, because I'm a type of guy that in low riding, because it's our community and it's our culture, I don't care who you are, what nationality or not. If I see you pull over on the side of the road, I'm going to sit there and pull over and come get you. What did I do one day? I seen you going up the hill. I said, D-Mac, you and the deuce going up the hill. You made it? I called him, because I wasn't even all the way in LA yet. And he up to 14 in the deuce, moving. Like just going up the hill.
If you can't drive them, you don't need them.
Yeah, see, and that's where I'm at with it, because what if you need that car in emergency? What if you need to move around in that car? Because you only own your daily and your lowrider. Well, we all grew up, our daily was our lowrider.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sure. So that's where to the day I'm still with. And our club is with that rule. That's one of the rules that they're like, man, we have to drive that car no matter what.
You have to be on the edge. The new generation, you're just going to get slow and old like everybody, because we're a dying breed, right? If we don't adapt to the times and the newer generations and what they're into. And I know the hopping world is a whole different world than the show world, who is a different world than the street world. I understand that, but you got to do all three.
Yeah.
As a leader, you have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
I think for us, we respect the tradition, the stories that older members bring.
But the Imperials have always been about show cars, Spinks.
Yeah,
Their whole life.
And we're there. It's the traditions that we use and that we do need to stay intact. Yeah, there are a couple of younger guys that might say, hey, we need to do this, but it's important that whatever young people we get into the club, they need to know the history of the individuals, of the techniques, of the Majestics, of
True.
Groupe, or the Imperials lifestyle. They need to know how we became where we're at. Yeah, and of course, we're dealing with what? We're baby boomers, all of us. Maybe not you, but you're a baby boomer. We're all baby boomers, right? Born after the war. So we think of things differently than somebody was maybe born in the 70s or the 60s or in the 80s, right? Or in the 90s. So again, I have this conversation with my kids all the time. Well, Dad, you don't know it's different, and then no. I got that, but again, traditions and the way we do things need to stay as a base. And of course, the younger guys coming in or want to do something, but then that's the time where we become good listeners and we listen to them, and then we offer, it's like taking that homeboy and giving them that advice, right?
Yeah.
This is the way that it's important. You need to do it if we're going to survive. And again, there's not that many because of the expense of low riding. They're not growing on trees like the 70s. Everybody was, boom, okay, you just put on rims and mama knows, right? So again, and I wrote something down. I said, you know what? Preserving tradition is adopting new technology. Okay, back in the days when we used to take those pumps and then we would make our own Monroes and stuff like that, right? And then the technology came out with about hydraulics and how it's advanced. And again, that hasn't included a broader cultural tradition or an influence on all of us. I think younger builders will mix in with their influence and their style with the traditions that we have in our clubs. And that's important because then if they don't mix in, then maybe that club was not for them. So again, and they don't have to always agree with us, right? They don't have to. Because I remember I didn't agree with all the decisions, but what did we do with the decisions when we were younger? We respected them, right?
Correct.
We might have not liked it, but hey, we respected it. And I think that's something that we have to not train, but we have to show and help the young people see. And especially the old folk too. The guys that have been around for a while, like you mentioned, oh man, I have more problems with the older guys than the younger. Yeah. You just have to say, hey, you got to respect what these guys are doing now. These younger guys have their own style. You created your style in the 70s. Let these guys create their own style in the 90s or present day. So yeah, it's a tough one. That's a good question. That's a very good question.
At the end of the day, you have the best of both worlds. You got the old who you could be that day.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow you could be with a new. It is the best of both worlds. You'll never really mesh them together because even the old stories, we did this, we did that, unless they saw it or they were there hands-on, they'll never ever get it. And then you wind up making them old. So you have to let them, the seeds are there, let them grow. And if you want to still be in that club, yeah, we started it. Yeah, but you guys wouldn't be here without us. Well, you have to make that change.
Mix your style and influence, young guys.
Music, just like music. I love 60s, 70s music. I can't get into the new music, but you kind of have to because it's like my parents. Oh, listen to that's narcotic music you're listening to. Elvis Presley and all that. What? And now, look, Led Zeppelin's like Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, because it's so, but we have to adapt to the, and you're all leaders here, so you guys all have. What's your story here on that, Ray?
So with Groupe, with much love and respect for my brothers that paved the way for us, they do have their stories. They did go through the struggles back in that time, and when we often meet, I enjoy listening to their stories. I embrace their stories wholeheartedly. But I also like to share that we're still here today. We're still alive, putting it down in the present moment. So, and with that being said, we still stick to the script as far as our traditional rides go, street show cars. For us, more of the change would have to be based off of technology, social media. Instead of calling everybody to go to the meetup spot, I'll go live on my Facebook real quick or something. Oh, Ray's on the 605. He's almost here. And I'll do that for a couple seconds. So there's different things that we do today that wasn't done in the past. Even like on a messenger group chat, we have our private chat rooms for active members, for supporters, for community and events. So we do different things. And some of our original members, they get a little confused with some of the technology today. At a recent meeting, I pushed the camera button and everybody could see their faces now, and everybody was like, super excited about it. So that's more of the change that we're dealing with as far as back in 71 from our early beginnings to where we're at today. It'll be mostly technology.
The Boulevard Cantina, fully loaded and always slammed. I have another question for you guys. You guys keep up with the Joneses? You want to talk that talk, you got to walk that walk. I mean, if you're going to criticize any member in your club or members, you better have the resume behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys feel to uphold your respect, you have to have the car? Because you're challenged every day. And there's members that are home run hitters, so to speak, and the guys that'll get the double or the single. But the president should always be that grand slam guy, right? But sometimes they're not, because you got unique, and with the chemistry and everything, there are some guys that put out some cars out there and they get all the attention sometimes, and whatever they're doing, everybody wants to be that person now. As a president, you have to uphold the image, your image. Do you guys keep up with the Joneses? The cars you ride?
No.
No?
No.
I don't.
No.
You never get, no? Nobody here gets challenged with the cars you ride.
I get challenged because I'm rebuilding my cars. But like I explained to somebody, Pastor Faye was my sister-in-law. So for her, she was the first lady in the individuals as individuals, I lady. And I still have her cars to the day. And it's a job, you and I know, to keep these cars up to standards from where you keep them, where you put them, where you at. So I had to turn around there and keep her cars going as a president. But now I'm building my car to come back. But now, like you said, I'm coming back with vengeance. So it's going to be like D-Mac did. He built more than one when he started playing, He did his thing. And I admire you for that. And I watch that, what you're doing, back to back to back, that it's like, okay, however long I'm going to be a president, as that challenge, I'm going to now start building some status cars down the line, because I got her cars sitting there, and they're still being like Gypsy Rose.
Mhm.
This is a car that was known to be around. And I seen every trials and tribulations that car went through. From windshield to fix the paint to the club came together and made that car happen. And that's what, to me, who would not want their legacy carried? I look at it like that. It's like, how many people that passed away or something went wrong and you watch their car go to the dungeon and go to crap?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like now, I'm going to have an honor. So, okay, I got a Joe Ray car, or I have, what I mean? I have a Pastor Faye car. I have a Wayne Day, a Hunt's car, I have one of them cars that you can stand up and say, I have an Easy E car. These are where the youngsters honestly are starting to take into that too, because they're starting to be happy getting other people's cars, because the majority of these people buying people cars done already.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, they're not blood, sweat, tear building a car. So it's like, I'm very happy. I honor that, me personally, y'all.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think the president has to have the best car, because just because you have a nice car doesn't make you a good leader, and they could go back and see what you've had. And if you've been in the club so many, you can't have the best car all that time. It's too many years to keep up with. You're not trying to keep up. You're trying to encourage the next one.
Right.
You're the one. Your car's the one. This is our flagship this year. Then next year is going to be someone else's turn, and the next year someone else's turn. It's always changing. It's always changing, because that car has its run, that car has its run, that car has its run. So I don't try to keep up with nobody. I build what I like and I roll what I like, and they could go back and see my history and be like, you had that over the years. They know, they know that I've been there, I've done that, So
all the baddest cars get replaced. Somebody else steps up to the plate.
It's just how it
Raises
is.
the bar.
Like you said earlier,
Is it? How many cars have you had, Circle in Life? How many cars have you put up there? Center stage, not because of your office, or you've kept up with the times.
Yeah, but you know, let's just start off with what you have to deal with. With Santana.
Yeah.
You,
Iconic.
you know.
Yeah.
So to me, you kind of want to instill that into all the members. Look at my Portland boys, Shane up in Portland.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
That's cool.
those guys up there, they killing it.
Yeah.
I got my SoCal guys down here, Dooley, and it's got a nice hardtop 57 and a nice 59 rag. You
You're just glad they're flying that.
Yeah. I mean, they make me proud.
Yeah.
I don't have to have the best. I don't have to have the best car because I know I got members that I could that I could just say, hey, come through. We need it. I got like I said, it's 45 chapters, but you do have those chapters that got cars that are that are just coming out. I got in Arizona, I got a Casa Grande chapter building bad cars. Glendale chapter, they building bad cars. Avondale chapter, they building bad cars. It's like,
Oh, I've seen that today. With a mother chapter, there's another chapter about 1,000 miles away, and they're the ones that are holding more members, more cars, and you have to be proud. You have to accept that and say, "Well, this is plant the seed. Here we go." Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, to me, you got to give these guys some motivation, but they kind of I don't care what you say. Everybody's out to do out everybody else. I want my car better than his, or better than his, or better than his. But if you're in the same club, you know yourself who's got the baddest car. Just like he mentioned earlier, with you guys in the paint, Imperials, with the paint. What I always admired about Groupe is Groupe will come up with, they'll have a show and it'll be 150 of them.
Man.
They'll take up a whole building. I always love that. Me, I gotta, hey man, can you come? Hey, hey, we doing this to, can you come? When those guys come, one of my favorite people from your club is Danny Boy. Always,
Danny Boy, yeah.
See him, it's like I said, it's like when I see some of the individuals, it's like we haven't seen each other in years. Techniques, Joey.
Yeah. Something.
Gotta love Joey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His wife, your girl that came out with the pink 63.
Oh, well, yeah, badass.
That's what I'm saying. To me, I can pick cars. It's like, that's when I go to a show or go to a picnic. That's who I'm looking to see, because I know that they're coming with it. So I don't know so much about keeping up with the Joneses, but to me, who's building badass cars.
As long as you set that example forward, then your time may come. If it doesn't, it does come, because at the end of the day, that's your plaque in those windows of all those chapters. That's you.
All right.
You're mentioning Joey right now. Joey lost his daughter.
Yeah, rest in peace to Erica.
Yeah. I know Spank and I were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, it's sad. She grew up with the club,
Yeah.
I know her from little girl. That car was a bonding experience for them when they lost her mom. They built that car, and it was a family jewel because they did it together. They did it together to, they were mourning the loss of her mom.
No one should lose their kids before.
Yeah, it's terrible, and lost for words.
But that's our job, to be together. Just
100,
especially at these times.
Yeah, and in the lowrider culture, what I'm saying, I give my honor and my respect out to the loss of your club and your family.
I know a lot of you
That's everybody's daughter.
Yeah.
Techniques.
Exactly. They're having a fundraiser at Montebello Park on
Sunday.
Saturday or Saturday.
Saturday, excuse me, Saturday.
And again, it breaks your heart, even though it's from a different club, to hear a father cry
Yeah.
on the phone.
Sure.
And he
losing
helps a
his
lot
daughter.
of people, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
he's always been there for a lot of people, you know. Like I told him, you helped so many people, bro. Now it's your turn.
And it's,
Don't stress on it, bro. It's your turn,
we just
and you paid it forward already.
we just lost one ourselves, Spank from Oklahoma.
Wow.
He lost his daughter, you know what I'm saying? All of the martial arts, everything. And like you said, to hear a man cry, I barely called him because I'm sad to be like, what can I say to you? You know, but I do it. You know what I mean? We'll text each other. We know because that's what brotherhood is about.
100%.
I'm about to help you and everybody.
And like you said, brotherhood, you said something with DMAC were to break down, or if you see somebody broken down on the highway, especially coming back from a show, pull over, help out each
Make
other.
sure they got it.
That's what it's all about, because they might have a blown tire on a trailer, or their car radiator overheated if they're driving it, or nowadays, like you said, cars are not put together very well.
Nope.
And so again, it's always pulling over to make sure that member or his family's with them, to make sure that they're safe.
Yep.
So that we can help them get that car off the road. That's what it's all about. Whether it's individuals, Majestics,
Anybody.
Techniques, Groupe, or Imperials, it's all about helping each
We're
other.
on the same boat.
But
Exactly.
you know, one thing I have to say, and a lot of people I don't, you know, to the day I don't get it because a lot of people say it's a hobby, and to me it's not. It's a lifestyle because if you look at what you have done to become a lowrider, you know, there's people took loans out their houses, people that neglected the family for situations. You know, where do a hobby come in at? You know what I mean? A hobby is something that okay, I pull up the weekend, I drive it, and I put it back up, and I won't see it for a year or two.
I
That's
only
a
think
lifestyle.
sometimes I think it's a hobby because of we grew up building little model cars and we're doing the same damn thing again, only on a bigger scale. It's somewhat of a hobby because you got to love what you're doing and you want to see it from the beginning until the end. It's an expensive one, but I see it because of the competition and the shows and because you're building something. It's not stamps and it's not model cars, of course, but it's sort of that. But it's part of the whole culture.
But when you're running the club, 45 chapters, that's a full-time
Yeah,
job.
there's something wrong with that.
That's a full-time
That's
job.
why he's a truck driver.
Salary?
He's out in
Salary?
traffic thinking about
You
it.
have a salary?
I got 10 and I lost all my hair, you know.
Do you with all the legendary cars of the Imperials? Yeah, I know you're building another Monty Spanks
Yeah.
76 Caprice.
Yeah.
But you have to represent yourself. You just do the best you can. How do you handle that?
Yeah, I do the best I can. Like I said, like the rest of the gentlemen said, that I might not have the best car, but they look at you like, when are you coming out with a new car? You know what I mean? Yeah. When I first of all have the money,
Right.
and you have the idea, and you find a good painter, because again, anytime to build a car the way you want it built, it takes 2 to 3 years now. And so,
You're not-
2 or 3.
well, yeah, well, okay, 3.
That sounds nice. You know?
Okay, let's go.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, and then finding the parts, right? Finding the parts is another thing. It's thank God for social media, right? Facebook and Marketplace, whatever. But yeah, I decided to build another car. It's going to be out in the next 4 months, because I wanted to do it again. Because back in the day when I was in the club in the 70s, I had stock cars, but there were drivers, right? There were drivers. That's the way we used to roll back in the day. But this car is going to be nice the way I want it. I'm going back to the 70s with the candy bottom with pattern top.
Oh,
It used to
that's
be
the beautiful.
Yeah, the way you remember the 70s with the big cars.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a challenge for me because monetary. You got to spend that money or decide if we're going to go out and have lobster tonight or we're going to go spend some money for the car, right? But I enjoy it because you see it. It's like a little kid again, right? Oh, man. Wow, it's coming along. Yeah, yeah. And then in the meantime, the guy's asking, well, when are you going to pay off? I'll be there. So, yeah, so it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. And I respect all of you presidents for the job that you guys are doing as leaders,
Yes.
communicators, right? Friends, right? Bosses, right? And it's about those visions that you have for the individuals, the visions that you have for Techniques and Majestics and Groupe. That's your vision, right? And you run your clubs the way you run your clubs. But again, we're a big part of the brotherhood when it comes to it.
Yes, we are.
So, it's we respect each other, we say hi to each other, and that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be.
Yep.
We do what we have to do
Uh-huh.
through the experience of what works for everybody, for the
That's
good
right.
of everybody.
Right. And I'd like to
Handle
add,
it.
and I'd like to add, as a president, I feel that I do not have to have the best car.
Yeah.
I do not have to have the best ride. We all have different strengths. But as you mentioned, brotherhood, what I do is I bring the family dynamic to this club life. Everywhere I go, you'll see my wife, my children with me, and you can ask any member of my club. I'm out there driving. I'm in that Rivian on 520s, putting 200 miles on in a weekend, going to San Diego, LA, everywhere, and that's what my club brothers know me for. There goes Ray pulling up in his ride. And thankfully I have my VP has a body shop, man. So whenever things go wrong, I just say back at the shop again. But to me, we all have our different strengths, and really wholeheartedly, brotherhood, family, going places, going on trips, and having our wives get together and our children growing up together. It's all about creating these beautiful memories out there in the community, listening to good music, and just fellowshipping with one another.
And one last comment. You said something very important. I think it's our significant others, my fiance, that backs me up in this club. That does a lot for the women that have members in the club. It's so important. If we didn't have that, whether it's your brother, your sister, your wife, your whoever significant other, I don't think we could be in the position that we're in.
Oh, no way.
Right?
I know my wife puts up with a lot of
Yeah.
bullshit.
No, my
big
fiance
door.
is great. She's great. Yeah. And your wife, Damian?
That's her 2 cars I'm driving.
Okay, good. So she's into it.
Oh, she's into it.
Yeah, well, my fiance wants a 76, wants to get the Monte Carlo.
Oh, wow.
So I said, whoa. No, she'll probably get it. Yeah, but you said your wife, your kids. Same thing with you, right?
I'm not married, but definitely women play a big part in
Yeah.
our club. Family plays a big part.
Family and women, and I think
Because-
it's important.
Especially the kids. They're the next generation that's going to keep
Yeah.
it going. So we need them to keep us going. They
So
grew up
for
with
me,
us.
they're on my ass every day. What
So
have you done lately?
So
Let's
I
keep
feel-
on going, push.
Yeah, so I feel
We
that's
wouldn't be here without them.
It's our community.
Yeah.
The Lowriding is our community. It's nothing else to be said about it. And we have to protect our community. If we do not protect our community, if I can't come to you and ask what, you know what I'm saying, Groupe, can I come to you? Imperials, Majestics, Technique. If I cannot, Lifestyle, if I can't come and ask what's going on, we're not protecting our community.
Right.
So that's our job. And as long as we protect our community and our culture, we'll be fine and dandy. It'll go 100 years more.
That's what I always talk about, unity in the community, and seeing us come together
thing.
like this. It's a beautiful thing,
That's my thing.
and hopefully we continue to grow like this and fellowship whenever we see one another out there.
This is epic.
Yeah, you came on one
I
foot
don't
this
think
month.
you guys know how epic it was yet, but man, the gratitude I have for all of you guys being here. I mean, the Groupe Car Club,
Yes.
when I go back and I think of all the standards and bylaws and everything, even from the click to the group to the new life to lifestyle, watching these guys across the street, Spanks from the President of Imperials. Chip off the old block too. I took in everything. Everybody was a mentor. Little John, the Majestics, the Persians, even from way back then. Just watching how you handle yourself, even to modern days, even as a truck driver. I watch you, man, and every day you got to take, as a president, you got to take, and not because of the new generations or being a chip off or being on the edge, right? You got to take a step back and get proper perspective. Watch what the other leaders are doing, what their clubs are doing. Not to compete or anything, but just to see if they have a better idea. Because we're all smart here. We all run car clubs, but there's always a better way. And we always continue to adapt and learn tomorrow. Groucho, techniques. Awesome having you here. You, the man in the corner right there, individuals. Dwight, you've always been there for me since I've known you, known about your car. Individuals, it's individuals, but it's everybody is different from every other member because they're all individuals. Lots of history here, 350 years. We got them all together, all different colors, all the different logos, all the history and heritage. All right, I'm out of breath. And we did it on one table from the beginning to the end. You saw what they think about the future. The future. They're leaders. You'll never see anything like this again until we get back together again. And we got the Bomb Club presidents coming up here too. But at the end of the day, I don't know how to tell you guys, man, when people are really serious about where is low riding going from here, there's lots of car shows, the judges, the new generation, they got to go hands on and everything. You guys are responsible for it right here in this table. Where are we headed today? I think we're in good hands. I think you guys all know what the hell you're doing. You got plans for the next 20 years. So out of that 350, you might as well add on another 80 years right here because these guys got it all down. It's an honor to have you here. Grouch,
Likewise.
thank you. Dwight, Imperial, Spanx,
Thank you.
Groupe Car Club, that whole heritage rate. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for that.
There you go, everybody. The Wire Down Show. We have to do this one again because there's a whole lot more to talk about. But other than that, we'll see you at the next episode. God bless all the lowriders, especially the presidents.